And you can, of course, see much more on this story on the BBC News website at bbc.co.uk/news. The government's announced it is going to privatise the Royal Mail in the coming weeks. The long-awaited and historic move will see employees take a stake in the firm, and shares will also be offered to the public. But unions are opposed to the move, with one calling for strike action, as our industry correspondent John Moylan reports.
Millions of people rely upon Royal Mail. The huge business has revenues of £9 billion and employs 150,000 people. Now it could be sold off within weeks.
This is an important day for Royal Mail.
Despite opposition from Labour, today the government confirmed its intention to float this centuries-old mail operator.
This is a significant day for Royal Mail, and the sale of shares will complete our reform of the postal sector. We want Royal Mail to have the real commercial freedom it needs to compete and to ensure the universal service that consumers and businesses so rightly value.
The case for privatisation has not been met. With recent annual profits of over £400 million, we should be allowing it to flourish in the public sector.
Royal Mail's sell-off is expected to see the business valued at around £3 billion. Members of the public will be able to buy in. The minimum investment will be £750. And postal workers will receive an estimated £2,000 windfall in the shape of free shares. But the main postal union is set against the plan.
I can't see it happening. It's too quick. I don't know how they're going to sell us off. Who's actually going to buy us?
Most of the public don't agree with it. Certainly all the postal workers don't agree with it. And it looks like it's going to cause a big problem for certainly our union, our members and the wider society.
At a huge meeting in Birmingham this morning, union reps were told to prepare for strikes in a dispute covering pay, pensions and terms and conditions, despite that offer of free shares.
I don't think the offer of free shares will sway our members against voting for strike action. The fact of the matter is our members know their pensions are being attacked, despite the fact that the government and the company said they were secure. They know that we've got outstanding claims on pay.
Today, Royal Mail insisted that the sell-off was the best way to secure jobs and the business for the long term.
It needs to spend money on changing its network from a letters delivery business with parcels piggybacking on top of that to a primarily parcels and packets network. And that requires access to capital. And in today's economy, we're not going to get that under public ownership.
For decades, successive governments have tried to privatise Royal Mail. Now, there's every prospect the sell-off could happen within weeks. But just as investors are being asked to stump up the cash, strikes could mean that postal services are about to grind to a halt. John Moylan, BBC News, Central London.